Hello, I'm Laura Mitchell, Deputy Superintendent for Cincinnati Public Schools. During the 2008-2009 school year, the CPS Board issued a directive to improve our district's lowest performing elementary schools. Out of that directive was born the Elementary Initiative, which includes plans, resources, and support, as well as incentives to improve our lowest performing schools.
Hi, I'm Carolyn Petapati, Social Studies Curriculum Manager for the Cincinnati Public Schools. And I'm here today to speak with you about a useful instructional tool for teaching social studies, the CPS Social Studies Framework for Effective Instruction. But before I do, it's probably very important to get something on the table up front right away. Social studies is not currently a tested content area, and it is not a part of federal accountability measures. So does it count? Well, yes, absolutely, it does. I think we can all agree that a child's education that is missing government, economics, geography, and history will ultimately set up our students for disaster when they get to the high school age and they are accountable for the Ohio graduation test. Our mission in the elementary schools is ultimately to fill gaps in our students' achievement. So leaving out social studies instruction entirely or only partially covering those standards ultimately creates gaps for our children. But we must always keep our accountability goals in sharp focus. Research shows that in order for students to excel in informational text and acquisition of vocabulary in particular, that type of reading instruction has to happen in the actual context of where students would come across that text. That simply means that in order for students to truly learn the skills to read informational text and learn new important vocabulary, they have to read in the content areas like social studies and science. Reading a map or an economics growth chart or a primary source account of life in the past happens occasionally in the English language arts classroom. But this type of text shows up every single day in the social studies classroom. That's why I have worked with teachers and coaches to produce literacy guides for social studies teachers that are available on StaffNet and have designed a framework that includes time for reinforcement of key literacy strategies during social studies instruction. Finally, bring closure to the lesson and check for student mastery of the objective through a processing assignment. The Historian's Notebook is a great tool to bring these framework components together on a daily basis. CPS offers trainings throughout the year on the notebook, and your coaches can help you to start a notebook at any time during the year with your students. Just as reading, writing, math, and science standards can be covered creatively in a social studies lesson, so can social studies indicators be addressed across the content. Whether in an ELA station for reading informational text or a math center on timelines and graphing, a team approach to teaching social studies is an effective way to make time to meet these indicators. Please know that your coaches and I are always available to help you to meet your students' needs in understanding their world around them. I'm looking forward to another great year of meeting our targets through effective instruction in the social studies classroom.
An effective mathematics lesson consists of a variety of teaching strategies to ensure all students are engaged in learning. Within our daily framework, students' educational needs are met through differentiated instruction. To ensure all parts of the framework are consistently followed, I constructed a bulletin board designating times when specific concepts, skills, or activities will be taught. Students have a visual of the framework and become actively involved in the learning process throughout the day. My word wall, posted math strategies, place value charts, and manipulatives are always available and utilized during IPE times. By implementing these types of strategies, you'll find that your students will remain engaged in the learning process while achieving higher levels of retention.
As you have seen, this is still EI. It is just the next generation of the Elementary Initiative. Beyond the numbers and the scores, there is an even more important reason to focus our attention on the individual learning and teaching of every child. These young people today are going to be the adults of tomorrow, Your physicians and senators, the district's principals and teachers, and perhaps the nation's future president will emerge from an elementary initiative school. I have seen what we can accomplish when we concentrate our efforts on promoting student achievement. So this year, let's focus our attention on making every component of the elementary initiative relevant to our students. Customize our learning to meet their needs so that in Cincinnati Public Schools, we can truly say every child matters.